The only way to destroy an enemy is by making him your brother. I said that. If you think that you're going to destroy your enemy by killing him or any other lesser punishment, but that nevertheless puts him in his place, that will not destroy the enemy, because he will remain your enemy, will he not? Even if he's nowhere on the planet, he's going to be alive and well inside your heart. He's always going to be your enemy, if that's what you've chosen to do. And so the only way to remove the sense of your threat and the sense that you do not have safety is to make that person your brother. And I do mean that. I mean, sometimes every situation is unique, and a lot of times we talk about how, we don't need to trust people that are toxic, and I believe that. I absolutely believe that. On the other hand, I just saw something yesterday, but it was very heartening, actually. And it was funny because it's from the TV show Catfish, which I've been binge watching, my guilty pleasure. And there had been one episode where these two ladies were basically almost in a fist fight about a situation. But 2 years later, they did a kind of a show where they said they were trying to figure out what had happened to different people on the show. And they actually brought these two ladies together 2 years later. And they both had had a chance to mature, and they were both very nervous about meeting again, but they were willing. And the one that needed to apologize apologized. The one that needed to accept the apology did that graciously. They hugged at the end. They were both mothers. And the really fun part was, it said that after that show, they were friends. They talked every day. And so just because you don't know. You don't know. And I don't want anybody to do something that's truly dangerous for themselves. I'm not asking you to do that. But I am asking us to be creative and think, and a little courageous, and think about where a little bit of brotherhood might be well placed. And that really is the only way to, quote unquote, get rid of an enemy. It's not going to be, and people think, the world is going to be burned by fire. I'm like, how about the fire of love? There are so many different ways to think about this. I do want to share a longer quote from a gentleman by the name of Adebayo C, Akomolafe. To destroy an enemy is to immortalize him in the story of enmity, in the story of dualism, in the story of distances. You don't get rid of an enemy by destroying him, not even by loving him. I wonder what he means by that. I guess because you can love from afar, because this is what Brother Akomolafe says next. You get rid of an enemy by misplacing the distance between you and him, by seemingly recognizing that enemies don't exist, by understanding that he is your creation, and that in ways too profound to articulate, you are him. Closed quote. That's one that even I'm going to think about some more. Well, I'm going to keep it short, and that's it. Not easy, but worth it. I read an article the other day about blood feuds between gangs between, I think there's a country in Albania where there are blood feuds, and these things are done with a great deal of honor and a great deal of story about why you need to participate. And it's hard for me to say anything against that because it's not my heritage, it's not my tradition, and I know that it gives people a sense of continuity, and it's their tradition. So I really can't say anything against it. But at the same time, I think it's so, 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 so sad because young men are murdered, and young men have to become the murderers to uphold the blood feud in the honor of their families and the honor of the gangs, which are their families. Depends on where you're at. And I think there's places, those are two examples in the story, article that I read, but I think that's all over the world. So I just wish there was another story. Maybe we can take a crack at it. See ya.